Well, it seems as if this is the last assignment of the year, so I decided to do something special this time. Instead of just drawing up a simple Word document and kind of blathering on in it about how, oh, I really enjoyed the book and oh man, I really loved it, I'll actually give my actual explanation of why I like the book and actually also about my drawing here. Now, in my drawing, I chose to draw myself like this since, in my opinion, or not opinion, like kind of factual, I did my best to try to come to every Zoom meeting and I completed every assignment to the best of my ability. And I really tried my hardest during these times. And I felt that I did a pretty good job. And I titled it monochrome because it's my favorite spectrum to use. I don't really like to use color that much. And so there's me. And I drew myself with sunglasses on because I usually wear those. And then I drew this little thingy out here where that's outside because I don't go out there because, yeah. And I didn't bother to color myself in because there's really no use. But yeah, and what I really liked about this assignment actually was I actually kind of wanted to talk about what I thought about the book's kind of message and what it was kind of like going through the entire time. And I really thought it was kind of really explorative to read it the second time. Which yeah, I guess I should say this. I already read it once through. Like I read it back in the third grade, and it probably wasn't that appropriate for me, but I don't really care. So, yeah, reading it through the second time really was much more eye opening for me because I realized how much I didn't really get and how much I didn't understand that now I do, especially about the portrait, which I think was like the main part about this whole book. Like, not just about Dorian or his experiences, but how it is symbolized through the portrait, which is pretty easy to get and it's pretty simple. Like, everybody got it, I'm pretty sure. But third grade me didn't really get what was going on. So, yeah. So what I'd like to talk about is, with the themes, the immorality versus morality and like caring about people, is what was really explored in this book was actually about how the influence on Dorian, like how he was changing and how he was influencing the people around him. The more he changed, the more he didn't really know how things were going to turn out and how he was going to act. And it was really experimental for him. I enjoyed that part of the book because it's kind of true to everyone. When you start, like, when people's personalities start changing and they start acting for the first time, it's not going to be like it was before. It's going to be different. And you don't really know how it's going to turn out, and so you just do it. And if you end up hurting people's feelings, like, unfortunately, Dorian went a little bit further than that, and he caused Sybil but it just really, you don't know how it's going to turn out. And I really liked watching Dorian's journey through this because uh, good old Lord Henry just has to do his things, and he changed Dorian. From in the beginning, he was a nice guy. He was really nice, and it's reflected in his portrait at the beginning. He's drawn up just very true to image of how Basil saw him, and he said that it was very beautiful and handsome. But then as the story progressed and how Dorian became darker, his personality, as is shown when like the Sybil when it was shown in Sibyl's, the chapter about when Sybil died, his portrait became twisted and started to become like more just gruesome and grotesque. And what I also like about that is that it's true to the history too. In those times, people thought that your inner personality was reflected by how you looked on the outside. And that's obviously not true, but I thought it was very interesting because it's reflected in the portrait where he was very good to begin off, like at the beginning, and then he became more twisted and like, towards like when he went down his path to, not becoming such a nice person and leading to a bunch of people's deaths. And that's pretty much what I really appreciated about the book. How I enjoyed the book, though, is very different. I enjoyed just reading it over again, how to have the experience of what I had before, but with a new lens, Since obviously I'm smarter than I was in third grade and more intuitive with how I think, this book was a whole different experience for me. And so I really, really liked about that. I'm glad we got to read this book. And so, yeah, this is my painting. That was a pretty brief discussion, but I don't really want to go to, like, kind of book beater on this one, really like diving into it and stuff. I really just want to give my honest opinion and what I thought about it and what I really enjoyed and what I really thought about the book. Now, you said we could include quotes and stuff, so I just want to include a very simple one. And I'm trying to keep this all very simple because it's the end of the year, and it's it's about how we understand the book. And I feel that I've kind of described that. I really like this book, and I really understand about it now, about the themes of the themes, and about how it's very influential on people when you start acting differently and when you don't really know what you're doing, and it influences the people around you. And so you should just stay true to yourself and stuff and not listen to other people too much. Sometimes it's not always true, but in the case of Dorian, it would have been very helpful if he did that from the beginning, which is why I pulled up this quote. It says that this is Basil talking at the beginning of the book. And I really enjoy this quote because I really get it now more, which is, Dorian Gray is my dearest friend. He has a simple and beautiful nature. Your aunt was quite right in what she said of him. Don't spoil him. Don't try to influence him. Your influence would be bad. I really enjoy that quote because you get a whole new meaning of what that means when you start reading it and when you actually get through the book. It's kind of epic foreshadowing right there. I really enjoyed that a lot. So, yeah, this is it, and I want to just say this class has been really good. I'm not much of an ELA person myself, but I really enjoyed this topic and this subject. And then I tried to draw this self of me before I went into quarantine because now, well, oh, wrong way. Yeah, I kind of look really hobo-y right now. So, yeah. Anyway, yeah, so that's pretty much it. And this will be posted on, or I'll just send you put the video link in the Word document, and it'll be taken down later today or tomorrow, or I may just not choose to take it down. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for being my teacher this entire year. Bye.